Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Coming live from Fire Up Your Heart, children of God. And that's you. That's you. Now, there's still camera issues. It's doing weird, I think sometimes they're just literally on our phone fucking with me. You may not even be able to hear me, and when I try to do closed captions, that the words aren't even close to what I'm saying. And I got to fire it up yesterday. It was my husband and I anniversary, which would explain why the devil thinks he's funny and he's not. We were getting weird calls, specifically on my phone. It's been going on since I tried to go back online and put the turkeys on the farm livestock, which I was hesitant because you had to have obviously location and things like that placed online. And then, I know everyone's having the roto calls, but we were literally getting calls from this prison system. And granted, I haven't heard from my son, but I know that he's on the dark side of the moon now, apparently, or I don't know what's wrong with him, but I do know there was a lot of deceit, and we knew, and it had went on for years, and we had to keep encouraging him to get independent, and we helped him figure out how to do his car insurance and all of that, and yada, 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 and get his own bank account going. Okay, so I made a call to Kotcher's Cars again because they send these strange fishers out and we're sick of it. And it took many years to figure out why I was stuck here. It doesn't make me any more happy about the situation. But when you talk about an elephant in the room, and you're living in a family, or you were, but you're trying to escape, but here it was right under my nose, but I would have never been able to even comprehend that my family was involved in the trafficking and things. Granted, there was always like this situation there, and then they'd keep me in the whirlwind, and then send the cops following me, and send this fucker following me, and drug my drink like my brother would. And he's not my brother, by the way. And I do hope he's resting in peace. I hope he sorted enough out with God. I know he never did with me. But that wouldn't be the basis of his redemption or the ability to not burn in hell for eternity, is he hated God, and he was a full-blown atheist most of the time, and he would flip-flop around. I didn't want to start listing names again because that is how I almost had my head blown off, and then the silent explosion and some threats came through on our old landline. What is this video? I'm circling around because I didn't want to really do this video. And it doesn't matter how calm Pastor Hildebrand is. He literally is one of my influencers. And, man, I can just really get raring to go. You know what I mean? And he gets me going, man. That's a good one that lady sent me, my old friend. She could only make it about 4 years with me. But I don't like liars, per se. So, no, I can't tolerate him for long. And I've said before, I'll deal with an honest drunk all day long, but give me a lying thief and I could shoot through the roof right now because I was raised with them, Sean Leonard. Miss Leonard, you're still alive, correct? Down in Florida, you shoot back up to Mackinac sometimes, or what's the deal? Sean got shipped out to Arizona. We're not going to focus on the sick part of what happened to Sean, of why he ended up on the road that he did. But what I am going to do is I'm going to do my testimony for him to some degree. And I'm going to do this, and it better be accepted. And feds or whoever, if you intervene on this, this has got to stop. Tom Drew, if you're still even, were you able to get enough of whatever injected to make you completely act retarded? Because you did. You did. We were going to go back to the explosion. We're at the double wide. Cotchers. Then take Leonard's house over. But then all of a sudden they got to downsize. But why would they move from the one over into the Leonard's old mansion and then back downsized? And then you could not, you guys, people, you're going to kill us over on Brentwood. Well, you almost did. And then we started self-medicating again, so, with the booze. And that's a sure way to get me in trouble. Who makes contact with Sean Leonard? He has one relative that does. I don't even know if he could put A, B, and C together, and because of the explosion and some different other events, the death threats around my birthday last fall, and when John and I went out a few times, we barely go out, by the way, is the cornering there. I think they were going to try to throw us in the barge or something. It was something over by the lake. It was some weird setup with this skittish, like, meth head chick or something. But we, you know, like I said, sometimes we'll take a little bit of the bait and then pray to God, can we get out of this? But we got to see who was sent and how many cops or what was the setup. Back to Sean. Sean, I know that prison's different now. Literally, prison people are online probably watching stuff as we speak. There's not a lot of, there's just like, you know, he may have found my show. And I want you to know I did want to get back to you, but I couldn't. And the fact that the prison system wouldn't let you read the letter, they couldn't just take the flowers. I don't know why I sent flowers. I knew dried ones. I knew that would probably be a hiccup with the prison. But then I was like, well, they could just remove them or let you see them and then remove them, throw the flowers out. But maybe you had to be protective. And I don't know if you do sit in prison and you still help protect the trafficking ring here in Michigan. And I'm sorry my face has, like, I had put moisturizer on, but and then this camera is so great. I got the fluorescent over there, small one. I don't like these overhead at all. It's like I can literally feel the heat coming down from the lights. If that sounds nuts, it probably be to you. But, so I do want you to know I wanted to get back to you, and I know that you reached back out, and I know that you really wanted to make contact with me. But I was still going through some scary situations. And I just knew that the minute that I made contact with you, I would start to dive deep on questions because it's all I have left. And whatever this is that God wants done, I'm not knowing how to make it go the way God wants. It's still in that process, and it's to say that that's the easiest thing for me. It's not. You can call it a control thing. Maybe it is, and I'm not seeing that clearly. It's mainly like I have that much zeal and passion, and when God like has me like focus on this thing, even though we've seen this video already, right? I don't seem focused, correct? No, I'm focused, but I'm a lot of other places too, all at the same time. There's been all kinds of stupid labels been put on it. Way back when it was called some horrible thing, then it was ADD, boo, ba-da-beep, bop, bop, deficit, deficiency, disability. I mean, can we get away from the D? So Sean, let's see. You were using me as a therapist. You would have been in middle school. I would have been getting into high school, or was in middle school still being your therapist into the high school. That's what's a little hazy because I'm quite frankly, I just know that they had to wisp out the one poor family and then this over there, and then all of a sudden you guys are getting this special privilege to build a road right by Tom's barn. God, I mean, my head wouldn't have even, I just knew, you know, when you have just that gut, like, fuck, this shit's bad. Why can't I go, Lord? Why can't I go? So we're going to pray right now that God will wrap this up soon, and that maybe John and I can still be in one piece. And I'm nuts. I'm gypsy, I think. Because this just isn't, why is this still not feeling like the final place? I do want potential buyers over the next year or two. Probably won't be able to sell then, but we did put a filter thing on the boiler so the basement hasn't have that puddle, or that you have to dispose or get a container and then dump it. So when the boiler's on, this filter is an immediate. It's already filtering out. It's already hooked in, other than probably just checking for maintenance stuff. Still got to bulldoze the carpet out upstairs. Probably shouldn't have got into the wall stuff. Oh, she's something else. Me. And, but we'll see. We'll see how permanent it is. I found out my Great Aunt Jessie's old home is for sale, and somebody renovated it, and we would never be able to afford it. But I'm so glad that the ones that my mom kept wanting to show me down there, and it caused more depression and upset when she's trapping me with Mike and took me with Mike, and she liked to listen to us have sex and then punish us for it, is, did you have sex with my mom, Mike? Like, that's weird. That's weird. She'd like me to see the destruction that happened to Aunt Jessie's property on top of whoever fucked her up. Because there was big fights. You were refusing to let me get there. So I started jumping on the bus. Tom, how could you do this to me? I just really want to understand this. This is so sick. It's like my own personal, like if like Hahaha I was Jesus, it's like was my own personal Iscariot and stuff being raised in, well, I used to call you Hitler's house. It was just a label on the phone. I'm sure you snooped on it. I'm sure you heard it. Why was the situation with Sean Leonard not deeply looked at? Why was he the scapegoat, but yet he was having his life threatened a lot to not do A, B, and C, to store up or get the cameras, have this over here, move him over there. This better get fixed. Miss Leonard, are you're just pretending it doesn't exist no more? Oh, he just wasn't quite what you wanted. Oh, he was just too much fun to torture, and then there just wasn't much left. And don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about, travel agency queen. I want to know how this has gone on this long in this county. And I don't have the ability, other than just with God, to say, help, help, help. Is someone going to fix this situation in this county? At least get it reduced? Nope, let's just burn up a bunch of buildings and stuff. And documents. And paper trails. And receipts. And transactions. And money transfers. And what else? Well, I'll see if I'm alive this week after bringing up Sean Leonard's name. Now, I believe they did the bust down with the Ohio, or it was also Michigan, because maybe he hadn't put his ID over. He went and got the kid, the trafficking situation, the kid in Colorado, the boy. And Tom and Ann, you wouldn't put him up, right? You wouldn't help him? High and dry, scapegoat rye. It all fell to pieces because you're pushing the pedophile on me. Sean was already a full-blown pedophile, and I don't want him around my son because I already got to deal with you pedos over here and over there, and Jesus Christ. So Sean, if you can hear me, I hope you got enough help or then you'd be on some kind of thing where you couldn't be around. But the thing is that it was the distribution, the filming, all of it. But see, I remember back when, I remember it all, guys. You kept trying to get my brain fried up, and trust me, you did a good one at U of M. I didn't know if I was ever going to get nothing back right, but actually God just reactivated and reopened old memories, and it was making the family shit bricks, is what it was making the family do. And I hate to be mean like this, but thank God Eric is dead. I mean, I don't mean to sound morbid, but man, that man, he was one of my heaviest, keeping track of my crap, keeping my crap fucked up, my networks, just so that then they get me back on a pill, get your blood to. He's a sick, sick, sick man. If he was able to even get 50% spiffed up with God at all, I just really don't think it was possible, but. So, Sean, I have questioned to fly out and see you. But there's this safety situation. I don't have a travel partner. Now we've added chickens. So then, like, leaving is an ordeal. And we have a very small group. I mean, it's barely anyone. So trust me when I say we don't have no one, it's no joke. And not that we could trust to stay at the house, or that they would even be reliable enough so that if we could hop on a plane. And John's not a big plane guy. He didn't fly much. I'm not either no more. I don't like the jet lag or the air quality in a plane. And I technically prefer smaller planes, but then you got more turbulence and things like that. And those are even more suffocating, but it's such a short flight from here to Arizona. But see, last time I was discussing these things, Jesus God, I thought they were going to cave the roof in or burn the house down in Brentwood. This is a long story to say I send my love. I know how you got sick. I'm not justifying the sickness, but I also do know that you were threatened. And somewhere between the threats of high school up and that they used you, they pitted you, you were the one. Nobody loved you right. Nobody cared about you right. Just give me a second, please. Lord, I just pray right now that you help us know which way to go now and in what direction this needs to go, or if it needs to be shut. But if the door needed to be shut, it would have been shut, because you would have let me fully exit this region and to never return. God, I need to know that someone is watching somewhere and that they have contacted Sean Leonard, and that Sean would be able to make some sort of appeal, or maybe if he has enough retained memories and did not have to block everyone out that was of bad influence on him, and that everything is kind of clipped back together. In that letter, Sean, if they did or did not let you see it, I was very blunt, I was very clear, and I was precise on what was going on. And I needed to know who was who. And God was already, narrowing it down. And I'm sure he had before, but I didn't want to see these close associates, the ones that controlled my cars, Kotcher's cars, Tom cars, just all of the tracking and destruction upon my life, and specifically my son. I knew if I couldn't either get myself together enough to get back up north. But it just seemed like I had tried so hard to make things work up there with the Indians. And quite frankly, I was like, you don't want to bring this crap up to them. And I think that if I was supposed to have, God would have made a clearing for it. I'd have had to deal with Jessie fucking up at school and acting out in other ways to exhaust and extenuate me, and then the Indians are having to sit us down, and that's how he worked. And then he wants us back with grandma because it's softer and easier way. She coddles him, but she's also a pervert, and then I'm having to control the perverts, and then get beat up and locked out of the house, and the police called when I said hands off of him, stop being a freak, and then get me back up drinking again, probably pick back up, then you can call the police, Throw me on some cold cement for some days in the holding cell and be mocked and ridiculed at jail. Sean, please, I hope you get this somehow. I need to believe that there's somebody out there that will help with this situation. Sean Leonard was abused, used, scapegoated, and targeted and primed and groomed to do the videos and different things. And someone would say, nope, he was just working solo. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't working solo, because he told me specifics about in correlation with authorities. Numerous occasions, and I would get upset. I would say, why are you doing this for the police? But see, I didn't know all the dirty nitty gritty, but see, he was already in that filth. And when you're in that filth, then there's the shame and guilt. He's not going to tell someone like me. I'm the only one that he kind of thought he was okay with. And God knows I couldn't be too nice for too long, or he's wanting to marry me again. And do I have to do names? It's a long list. But most of you are so done fucking old. I don't know who you transferred over to. Your kids, your attorney children, your children that became judges, or their police. How does that with the lawyers and things in town here? The ones that would never help. It's a pretty long list. So remember, I had to start outsourcing for attorneys. How many more of you going to drop like flies? I mean, it's a lot of you got to drop. A lot of you got, that's a lot of dropping flies. That's like the fly catchers around the yard here. With the Sandy Loom and some other stuff, they like, do you want to go see how many flies are in those? They stink really bad. That's this town. It stinks of gross, rotten flies. And God's had enough. There is not going to be a shrub, a ditch, a hole you can hide in. God is going to grab up every last one of you by the back of your neck and shake you like a rag doll and drown you like a cat. Drowned a cat. So I have a friendly suggestion. Those of you that can still make a sentence and you're not pretending to be retarded, or the ones that haven't taken the retard shot so they can act like they don't know nothing and it's full amnesia. Take your old ass legs and your rich padded pockets and you strut yourself up to a district's attorney or a clean group, if there's any left, because it's not looking that way in America. It hasn't for a long time. Like probably since it's an infusion of being a country. But see, no one's going to want to look at that either. Because then you're saying she's contradicting with the Constitution and stuff. No. What I suggest is those of you that knew me and you made sure to keep me wrapped up, locked up, beat up, drugged up, keep me screaming like an animal being cooped and trapped when I knew it was ugly. And all you characters, get your little padded pocketbooks out. You buy Great Aunt Jessie's farm. It's in Leicester, if you need to know, Leicester, North Carolina. It's almost $1 million. Maybe you could negotiate on that price and throw in, I don't know, several years of taxes paid. The taxes are high because it's been commercially zoned. You buy that farm, $1 million or more, or like I said, maybe he'll negotiate on the price. The realtor's name is Duncan, and it's like 1-2. I should remember, but I had to burn all those letters with my grandma's letters. 1227 Newfoundland Road. Now, this may not be her farm, but I tell you, it's almost a spitting image. And they must have changed this road, or I just am not remembering. Maybe it was Leicester Highway, I thought, and then maybe they changed it, or I'm just making shit up again. Because it looks just like her farm, and it is cute as a button. I cannot be how cute it is. Oh, it brought joy and sadness and joy and... So Leonard, that's left, some Drews, catchers, some attorneys, judges, lawyers, police, feds, Michigan State. And also, you're going to cover that fraudulent deal you did with the credit card that was so old and it was illegal, and it was $1,100, and I settled with Citibank, and you jacked it up. Someone had the power to make that thing huge and torment my husband with it. And then this thing got fucked up with his investment. We didn't get proper warning, or we were just under so much trying that then now we have to have that taken from his taxes. And my husband gets to retire early, and he doesn't necessarily have to work a super, super hard day again, but he will because he's a hard worker, and we're hard-working people. And we were going to get Aunt Jessie's old farm for us. And we're going to have all of our moving and everything done for us by professionals that keep their hands off of our shit. And you're all going to settle this way. It's not going to be settled with my head blown off again, or psych wards and torture. Because it wasn't normal care that I ever got. You're not supposed to feel like when they give you something, your brain's on fire. And that's what they were doing to me. They were frying the fuck out of me. And it's like, how many times can you try to fry me, but God kind of keeps enough still going, and the memories don't leave. The memories, actually, many came more back intact when they were supposed to. And no, it's not false memory. It is so over the top for people. I get it. No one's ever going to believe it. That's not why I'm on here, to prove to believe anything. It's between me and God. And for that one woman or man who had done to them what done to me. Trapped and cooped, a slave of Monroe County. So all you with your big padded pocketbooks, and that senator guy, this lowlife that had the party sword turned politician, used to call me like hot mama baby or something. It's so weird. But now he's Mr. Politicians, and that he's renowned for he's just padding pocket crap. All ya in this county, get your little pocketbooks out. Make sure it's enough money. Buy the farm down in North Carolina. It's on 21 to 22 acres. There's a barn and 6 campsites, and it's at $900 and some thousand. Taxes are super high each year, like $8,000. And why don't you get that done, and then help us get And even though we didn't really want to go south, we wanted to go more north, but it don't matter. The whole world's going to crap. Maybe we could get a little peace of mind out on that mountaintop. And I can do some expression with God better. Because this isn't working, is it? I know the whole routine in here already, and I don't even want to know it. Just from doing my chores. Just hearing the noise, the rhythm. Like, oh my God, this county is disgusting. Okay, so I didn't list all those attorneys and stuff that screwed up divorce paperwork and stuff with Mike and all of that, and hid... What did you hid the restraining orders on Mike and no protect? Okay, all of you. There's a lot. I can't list all of the attorneys, for God's sakes, and the judges and police, and it's so many. It's so many of you. The county workers, townships. I mean, really. Really, $1 million isn't much, right? Have a good one. Bye. Everyone can pipe dream, right?